Some characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have been huge missed opportunities, and we've rounded up the top 5. What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here, and you all know I'm a big MCU guy. I'm a huge Iron Man fan, and we all know we've had plenty of Iron Man content in the past 10 years, but still, I can't help but feeling like the Infinity Saga gave some really awesome characters the short end of the stick, and it's time to put some respect on their names. These 5 characters are picked by those who seem to have the most potential in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all things considered, like Marvel comic stories, the actor playing them, and then the execution that we ended up getting. Howard the Duck doesn't count, by the way, because after that Guardians of the Galaxy post-credit scene, he did his part in the battle against Thanos, and that's about all we need from him, let's be honest. Did he survive Endgame, by the way? Does anyone know? Does anyone really care? Let's start this off with some honorable mentions like Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. She is one of the most powerful characters in the MCU. Just ask Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige himself, which I did.
Wanda Maximoff, who is probably, near the upper echelons of power, I contend she would have taken down Thanos if he hadn't called she had
him.
It was done.
The character has been given her due better than many other big heroes, but still feels like she has never reached that full potential. And maybe that's because in the MCU they call her a miracle, not a mutant, so that kind of mucks up a lot of the comic book story which came with her. But later this year, she literally has a show with her name in it coming to Disney+, so the best of Scarlet Witch is yet to come. Another honorable mention is War Machine. Rhodey has been A1 since day one, literally. Sure, he looked a little different in the first Iron Man movie, but he's been a part of the MCU and a key member of Tony's Iron family since 2008. What did he get for his troubles? Paralyzed. The writers of Infinity War told me he was going to be the Vice President of the United States in Avengers Endgame, but that story got cut, and he literally showed up in Avengers Age of Ultron for like a minute. Still, he has had some cool moments, like rescuing the President in Iron Man 3 and that awesome battle at the end of Iron Man 2, so he's not been totally underused, so he doesn't make the top 5. And our final honorable mention is Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff seems to have one of the richest untold backstories in all of the MCU. I mean, what happened in Budapest?
Just like Budapest all over again!
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
How did she end up in the Red Room? Dreykov's daughter that Loki talked about? I want to know about the red in her ledger.
Can he wipe out that much red? Dreykov's daughter.
And if she wasn't getting her own movie, kind of like how she didn't even get her own funeral, she would be on the top 5 list, but the Black Widow movie is finally going to explore her past, and I couldn't be more here for it. Now, let's get to the top 5 most underused characters so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and only characters who have already appeared are eligible, or my boy Nova would be at the top of this list. Perhaps the most underutilized character in all of the MCU is Ulysses Klaue. The character is a big factor in a lot of Marvel comic stories and in animated titles. After a brief appearance in Avengers Age of Ultron, we were all pumped about the potential for Klaue, especially when Ultron took his arm and made him comics accurate. Not to mention, Klaue was played by Andy Serkis, one of the most talented and genius actors and filmmakers of our generation. Use and execution of the character, well, that's another story. He came back for the Black Panther movie and seemed like he was going to be a major player in what we hoped would be a Black Panther trilogy combined with other appearances for T'Challa and his supporting characters. But all Klaue really did was tear up a casino and make it rain in one of Andy Serkis' more energized and fun performances of his career. Before we knew it, dead. Next up, like him or not, it's Quicksilver.
Nobody would know. Nobody.
In fact, the or not part is why he made this list. Aaron Taylor Johnson portrayed this character in Avengers Age of Ultron, and he was killed off in that same movie. Honestly, the character gets no respect from fans, but he also seems to have been a sibling forgotten faster than Beth on The Walking Dead. Plus, the fastest man alive in the MCU was killed by bullets? The MCU's Quicksilver did little to attach us or make us want more, especially after Evan Peters portrayed a superior version of the same character in X-Men Days of Future Past just 1 year earlier. However, Pietro Maximoff and his relationship with Wanda Maximoff is underserved in the MCU. The mutant twins are big-time players in the X-Men stories as the children of Magneto. Since we didn't get Magneto here, it kind of felt like, why did we even get Quicksilver? Just to die and make everyone hate Hawkeye?
None of this makes sense.
You didn't see that coming.
Next up, my guy Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer and his Hammer Tech group are often looming on the pages of Marvel Comics. You kinda see Hammer Tech in books more than you saw Roxxon in the Netflix shows. Justin Hammer was played by Sam Rockwell in Iron Man 2, and he did a really good job with it, but the character really served as a means to get Whiplash to face off against Tony Stark. However, Justin Hammer was taken into custody at the end of Iron Man 2. He didn't die. We've never heard from him or mentioned him again, but he's not dead that we know of, so maybe we'll see him again. In comics, this guy has collaborated with The Hand, he's worked with Hydra, and so on and so forth. His main enemy is usually Tony Stark and Iron Man, as Hammer Tech regularly tries to compete with Stark Industries.
That's true. He hates you the most.
Given Tony Stark's death in Avengers Endgame, Justin Hammer's return seems unlikely, but if Red Skull returned, anything is possible.
Don't let anyone tell you different.
Next up, my girl Maria Hill. Kobe Smulders, aka Robin Scherbatsky, is a legend, so why not let her be one in the MCU? She's been a part of this since 2012's The Avengers. She has been a great go-to agent for Nick Fury, and even earned a spot in the comics since she was created in the movies first. We saw Maria Hill die in the post-credit scene of Avengers Infinity War, so why can't we just let her live? Despite being a capable and knowledgeable agent, the character has not been given the opportunity to play a major role in the MCU stories. Her time might be coming though. In Spider-Man Far From Home, it looked like Maria Hill had her epic moment in the sun when she used a rocket launcher to take out a drone which was going to kill Nick Fury.
I gotcha.
However, it was later revealed this was Soren, a Skrull disguised as Maria Hill. It appears Maria Hill is likely out in space with Nick Fury, possibly building up S.W.O.R.D., which is basically Space Shield, but it's gonna need some revamping because in comics it wasn't really the most successful story.
Agreed.
And finally, one of the most underused characters in the MCU, Ultron. This villain, especially with the voice of James Spader, had potential to be one of the most compelling villains in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to take this time to explain my evil plan.
Instead, the character felt more like a stepping stone, much like his Avengers movie did as a whole, on the way to Captain America Civil War. Looking back at Avengers Age of Ultron, the movie is better than it got credit for at the time, as most of us were just eager to see Iron Man and Captain America duke it out a year later and watched Avengers Age of Ultron through analytical lenses to see how that other fight would begin. Still, Ultron is way more menacing in the comics, and maybe if we get a version of Secret Wars, we can see him come back to align with a team of villains, only to get the life sucked out of him by Galactus before he returns as a servant for Doctor Doom, and chaos ensues against all the heroes and villains in that story. That'd be cool, but I'm probably way ahead of myself. Which Marvel characters do you think are the most underused in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Share your thoughts in the comments section or send them my way on Instagram at BrandonDavisBD. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications because we are working hard to bring you fun content, so we hope you watch it and enjoy. For more, head over to Comicbook.com. I'm BD. I'll see you there.